It's okay. Oh, I can hear myself now. Hey guys, welcome to another live. I can't see myself on YouTube, huh? Guys, everybody who's on Instagram, hi. Abdul, Mariam, Spinger, Malik, Rajan, Nat, Nail, Gizu, Bassett from Revo. Alright guys, welcome back. Sorry about the late starting out a little bit later today. How do I see this? Okay, click to expand on YouTube. Guys, I'm just trying to get all the streams in place. So if you got, by the way, if you got questions, please send them in. Yeah. Is it this one? I just want to set it up, guys. First time we're actually going live on a couple of platforms. So just to make sure that everything actually can be seen. Everybody who's here, welcome. Real Planner, King Cleric. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. From Spinger, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for joining in. Guys, if you got questions on YouTube or for... Yeah, YouTube's not going live. Okay. So I'm on Instagram now. Guys, let's talk a little bit about for agents on how to do property viewings. And again, if you guys got questions, please don't hesitate. Send them across and I'll be very happy to answer any questions that you might have. All right. So I've got some questions over here lined up with some agents asking, and I want to share with them how they might be able to do. All right, we're back on YouTube. I can see myself on YouTube and Facebook as well. I like this. I don't know where I would see the questions on Facebook, but somewhere, I guess. In YouTube, you can put them in the chat, so I will get access to your questions. Swakeen Acharya, hi. When will the stream start? Okay, we're live now, guys. Okay, everybody who's here joined already, please, thank you very much for joining in. If you've got questions, please ask any question that you might have, and I'll be happy to take your questions first rather than the questions I have on my list over here, because we obviously take questions that you've already asked previously, and we're happy to answer when you're ready, when you want. Okay, check this out. So I want to share with you guys a little bit of some background information and how you can. This is specifically for agents, but even for investors, like this is what you should be expecting when you're going out for a viewing, guys, especially for agents. Guys, look, if you're planning a viewing for an investor, a viewing that is on a ready property, there's going to be two scenarios. Either the property is your own property, where it's your listing, where you're actually set up to be able to sell this yourself, you have the keys, you're exclusive, or even if you're non-exclusive, but you've got the property and the rights and everything to be able to show this to the potential client. Or it could be a property where you're going to be arranging it through another agent, which means another representative who represents the seller, and they are not just representing the seller, but then they've got charge and control over that property as well. Here's what I'm going to suggest that you've got to do to make sure that you've got a great professional viewing going on. Okay, one of the things that you want to start with is plan. Guys, listen, I generally make a plan always on paper. I divide my paper into 8 parts, okay? So let's say I'm going to be taking my client on 5 properties, 4 properties, 3 properties, 2 properties for them to see, to view. I generally divide the paper up into like 8 parts like this, okay? 8 parts like this. Once I've divided it into 8 parts, every single part is actually a special property that I'm going to be showing them. So I'll divide it into 8 like this. And then what I'll do is... Actually, this is advice for agents, okay? So I'll divide it into 8 parts. You can maybe see that there's 8 parts over here, okay? On this corner, I will write what my client wants. On this corner, I'll write my plan for my client. And then box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4, box 5, box 6, or I could have more boxes. I'm going to be writing the details of every single property I'm going to be taking them, the name of the agent, the place, how far it is, and so on and so forth. And you could have more papers like this. Now, I know it's kind of old school. I'm using paper. Please forgive me for that. But it's kind of like the easy way to plan it out, okay? Which is something that you must do. And as I said, organize. Sayyid Imran Ahmed asks, Assalamu alaikum, how does the 5 or 10 years golden visa work? Do we have to visit UAE every 6 months? I will answer your second part. No. So what the Dubai government has done, and I know that this applies to the 10-year golden visa. Guys, you're going to be like, why don't you know all the information? I don't, because things change, okay? So whereas before you had to have a 2 million dirham property fully invested, which means paid up for 2 million for you to get that 10-year visa. In July, the Dubai government changed it to say that if you've got a property that's off plan worth 2 million, but you've made some payments, you can still get a visa. And now we're getting to know from the market that if you've bought the property, paid a little bit of money, and the property is closer to handover, then you can get a visa. Okay. So the first question is, do you have to still visit Dubai for every 6 months? For the 10-year golden visa, I know you don't have to. For the 5-year, I'm not sure. Now, here's the kicker. It used to be that the 10-year golden visa used to be applicable, and you could get it with a 10 million dirham investment before. And the 5-year visa was with a 2 million dirham. Now that's out of the window. 2 million dirham investment gets you a 10-year visa. So the 5-year visa, I'm not sure if it's for the 1 1 million property, or if it's for the other property, but you can pretty much get it. Like in the beginning, in the middle, it used to be 1 million for a 3-year visa. Then it became 750,000 dirhams for a regular property. 750,000 for 1 year, and now there's a 5-year. I'm not sure exactly how the 5 years working. I know the 10 years, but maybe if it's a 2 million property, you get the 10 years. All right, guys. So I was actually trying to explain how to conduct really professional viewings, all right? So this is what you do. You end up doing this. You plan. Then there's 2 things that you're going to be doing. And again, if you guys got questions on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere that you guys want, I'm happy to answer. Okay, just make sure that I can see the question. If I miss it, just ask again. All right. On YouTube as well, guys. If you got questions, just shoot them across. I'll be happy to answer. All right. If you just want to say Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we're talking about doing a professional viewing. Okay. One is you're going to obviously be coordinating with the other agent, like top notch. Like you really got to organize with the other agent. And for the time that you give the other agent, always give them a window. Like you got to respect their time. But unfortunately, if you're doing multiple viewings with the client, always take a client on multiple viewings. Don't take them out for one viewing. It's kind of like a waste of time, because if you're going to be taking them to JVC, you might as well take them to JVC, see the project that you want them to see, but see another 2 properties as well, so that they can easily compare how good these properties might be or how bad they are, right? So when you give a time to an agent, another agent who's representing the property and is going to be there, always give them a window. Like say, hey, I'm doing a couple of other viewings in other communities, and then given the traffic situation, I should be there between 4:30 and 5. Okay? And then you help them out. Like if you are running late somewhere, like be honest with them. Tell them the truth. Like, I'm looking at other properties, I'm going to be there on time, so on and so forth. Sanga, are there questions there? There's no questions there on Facebook, right? Right. Okay, yeah, okay. I now I got the question. Yeah, it's good. I got this open now. So the thing is, Sayyid Imran, to get the 10-year golden visa, you said 2 million. Is it from 2-3 properties or one? It can be from 2-3 properties, because that's how the rule used to be for the 1 million as well. So if you've invested 2 million in several properties, that's okay as well. Okay. So coming back to the viewing, and if you're running late to get to the viewing, all you've got to do is just tell the agent, hey, I'm running a little bit late. I'm running a little bit behind. I'm going to be there a little bit this or that, right? And if you're running earlier, then again, tell the agent, hey, I'm going to be there, boom, on time, right? Then when you go to the actual viewing, guys, remember this, always follow the lead of the person you're showing the property to. Sometimes they might come in as a family and they want to go through a property as a family on their own. So you've got to kind of like give them space. Like, sometimes you've got to be like, hey, take a little bit of a step back. You've got to be like, you need more space. You can go around the property on your own. If you've got a question, we're right here. You can ask me at any time, any stage. We're happy to help you, right? Essentially speaking, give them space when you're there in the property, okay? And last but not the least, just make sure that while you're giving them the space, you can answer any questions that they might have. The thing that is very important now, you will know about the property yourself or the other agent. So you've got to, while giving them space, also answer questions. So give them space, but be very close to them. Now, if it's a property that you are in charge of and you know exactly what to do, guys, listen, before you go to the viewing of this property, it's very, very important that you actually go to that property yourself first. You should know exactly where to park. If it's an apartment, you should know exactly how to get there, like which floor. Generally speaking, if it's on the 7th floor, you would say, hey, what's the big deal? You already know it's let's say the apartment 701. Okay, for example, you're like, hey, that's pretty simple. I don't need to go and visit there before it's 701. I can just walk straight to the 7th floor and get to the apartment. What you don't recognize is sometimes you get out of the elevator, and sometimes a building's like this big giant square. Okay, big giant square, and you get out of the elevator and the apartment's right. If you take a right, the apartment's right there. But what you've decided to do is take a left. Bravo. And now you're walking like 720, 719, 718, 716, 715, 714, 710, 711, 712, 78, 701. And you've just walked with the buyer like almost like a minute and a half all around. Like the buyer now knows that you've not been to this property, and it shows how unprofessional and amateurish you are. So the idea is that when you go to this property, you've got to actually know exactly where to go. You should know where to go. Secondly, you should always visit the property in advance, 1 day in advance, a couple of hours in advance. If nobody's living in the property, you should go and air the windows, right? Open the windows, go and see exactly if the property's in good shape, nothing's leaking, everything's really, really good, tip-top shape, right? It's something that's important and you should absolutely do, all right? Then, again, same rules apply. Answer their questions, give them space, know where the amenities are, know about the community, know everything that you need to know to be able to guide them through the process to make a good decision. Don't be overbearing, don't be forceful, don't tell them like, you got to make a decision by tonight. Be relaxed, be kind, be gentle. Everybody who's joined in, welcome. Nawaz, Khalik, Double, S Real Estate, Kagaz, Scorpio, Mohammed Rasil, Nims, Assalamu alaikum. Everybody who's here, thank you very much for being here. Guys, if you got serious questions, any questions at all, just, ask away, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. I've got a couple of questions that people have asked us online. So I always say, if you've got a comment, just ask us a question. We'll be happy to answer. Somebody asks, what happens after the duration of the leasehold ends? Okay, because this is in response. Sayyid Imran, I see your question. Let me come back to this. Let me answer this quick question. This is in response to somebody asking about leasehold property and freehold properties. In general, guys, just to understand the basic difference between leasehold and freehold. Freehold, you own the apartment and the land according to what you've... so let's say the land is 100,000 square feet and you own 1,000 square feet. 1,000 divided by 100,000 is what's the land that you own, okay? That part of that land you own in perpetuity, okay? So you own the apartment and that land in perpetuity. Leasehold. Now, leasehold in Dubai comes in many shapes and surprises. Excuse me. So leasehold comes in many shapes and surprises. A leasehold property could be leasehold for 30 years, 60 years, 90 years, 99 years. I've even seen 85 years. It just depends on the community and how it's operating. Okay, some of the communities that are leasehold is Dubai Silicon Oasis. Some of the other communities that are leasehold is Dubai Investment Park. And then there's smattering of leasehold communities around Dubai. Okay, the way it works is once the lease expires, you would generally be given an opportunity to renew the lease by the master developer. Like, the master developer doesn't generally need the land back. They're in the business of being in the business of real estate. So they've already given this to you. Now, we don't know exactly how this is going to play out and the rules that are going to govern this. Why? It's actually too early. The leasehold, freehold started in Dubai in 2002, 2003. Leasehold communities or land that was sold then on 99-year leases, there's still about 70, 75 years still left on those, right? So I don't think that Dubai has a very solid, clear law on how the leasehold properties are going to get renewed. The authorities in different zones do apply their own rules and regulations. They might say, okay, you can renew your lease for X number of money, right? And you've got to remember, like, leasehold properties factor in the price, okay? When you're buying a leasehold property in Dubai Silicon Oasis, a one bedroom might cost you much cheaper than a freehold property because obviously the buyer is factoring in. It's a kind of like a depreciating asset, right? So you got to understand that. You got to remember that, so on and so forth, okay? What happens at the end of the leasehold? It's going to expire. You're going to probably get a chance to renew your lease, and then you renew your lease and move on from there, all right? Makes sense? Makes sense. Good, good. All right, let me take this question. So Sayyid Imran Ahmed 7 asks a question, which is like such a broad question. Which is the better place? Business Bay, JVC, Dubai Creek Harbor, the Valley, the Mac Lagoon, or the Mac Hills? What you need to do, Sayyid Imran, I'm going to answer your question, but ideally you want to be in our Dubai Wealth Builder program. It carries a cost, but then we take you through the evaluation of all these places, but based on a blueprint and a plan of what place is best for you. And I'll give you an example. Let me ask a question to anybody over here, to my team, right? Which car is the best? A Toyota Corolla, a Toyota Camry, a Toyota Land Cruiser? Now I'm in the same asset class, okay? Toyota RAV4 or a Toyota FJ Cruiser? Can you answer this? Okay, so I've got one answer from my audience here. Great audience. Thank you very much for the participation. Good answer. Depends on your budget. Good. What else? Oh, it depends on your needs, right? Because with a Toyota Land Cruiser, you could take it off-road. Yes. FJ Cruiser, you can. Toyota Camry and Corolla, you can't take it off-road. Very good. Okay, depends on your needs. What else? Utility. Maybe you're going to drive every day to Abu Dhabi, right? And, well, if you drive every day to Abu Dhabi in a Land Cruiser, it's going to be more luxury, but fuel's going to be more consumption. But maybe you can't afford, not you can afford a Land Cruiser, but somebody can't afford a Land Cruiser, then you're looking at a sedan, right? So which one's better, Camry or a Corolla? Camry's bigger, so you can travel more. What else, Hassan? What else? Preference. Maybe you grew up as a child and you always wanted a 4-wheel drive and you're willing to pay that extra money. So your preference really gonna matter. So let's say now this: Business Bay, JVC, Dubai Creek Harbor, and kind of like the Mac Hills. These are all quite central. Like Business Bay is almost prime because it's right next to downtown. Dubai Creek Harbor is a central location. It's close to downtown, but it's not a prime location. And the Mac Hills is okay. The Mac Lagoons and the Valley is in the outer outskirts of the area, right? So outer outskirts. What does outer outskirts mean? What if you're not a guy who wants to go to the outer outskirts as an investment or something? Maybe you just have a preference for a more central location, right? As Ghassan said, right, Ghassan? So my answer is, which is the better place? what are you trying to do? It's kind of like, which is the better car? What are you trying to do, and what can you actually afford, right? So Business Bay has its own pros and cons. JVC, its own pros and cons. Dubai Creek Harbor, its own pros and cons. The Valley, its own pros and cons. The Mac Lagoons and the Mac Hills, its own pros and cons. Everybody who's here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you got guys questions, please don't hesitate to answer. Hamid, Najma, Sam, Lizo, Arikazu, Rajan, Ashushwani, Nur Yahani. Yeah, okay. I've got a question over here from YouTube. Let's see. What is this person saying? So Akin Acharya. The agent with the units are hesitant on sharing floor numbers of the apartment. How to deal on such cases? So Akin Acharya, explain to me, who are you? Are you an agent or are you an investor? Okay. If you're an agent, if you're an investor, you've got to be very clear with them, like right from the start. Like let's say if you've identified one building that you really, really like, and now you've got to, let's say you've identified this building called, let's take an example of a building. Okay, there's a building in Dubai called Boulevard Heights. Okay, it's downtown. I can see it very close by over here. And let's say you've identified that you want to buy a 2-bedroom apartment in Boulevard Heights, and you're an investor, right? It's very easy. Every person who's selling selling an apartment to the agent, you're going to tell them, like, very clearly, hey, this is my background. I've been looking at other opportunities, other things. Be very transparent and say, I've seen about 5 apartments in this price range with these many agents. The apartment that you advertised, would you be kind enough to tell me which floor? And tell them. See, one of the tricks of human life is if you share information, the others will share information with you. So you tell them, look, I'm trying, because this tower, I think, is 40 floors or 60 floors, something like that. You got to tell them, so Sakina, you're an agent, but let me finish this as an investor. You got to tell them, I'm looking for an apartment from the 10th floor to the 25th floor maximum. The 5 apartments I've seen, only 2 fit in the scenario. The other 3 I've already disqualified. So now, Mr. Agent, if your apartment is above the 25th floor, I'm not interested. And then the agent's going to tell you, hey, it's only on the 28th floor. Would you be considering it? Maybe. Hey, or if they say it's only on the 8th floor, would you consider it? Yeah, maybe on the price. There you go. As an agent, Swakin Acharya, you've got to be, again, transparent, okay? When you call another agent, one of the problems they have is other agents steal their listings, go to the viewing, go behind them, call the other agent, so on and so forth, call the other owner. You've got to put them at ease, and you've got to tell them, like, listen, I've got a client who I'm working with. First of all, generally a lot of people don't have VIP clients, but tell them, look, I've been on several viewings with them. They're not in the market with other agents. They're not calling other people. And you know what? If they are calling other agents and they've called you, I'd rather like to know. Tell them the name of the client. Tell them this is the client. Have they called you? No, they've not. Look, we're looking for this, and I've already seen, let's say you're in Arabian Ranches, you're looking for a villa that's 7-bedroom. There's only going to be like maybe up to maximum 5 or 10 7-bedroom villas available. Tell them, look, I've seen the one in this location, Savannah. I've seen the one in this location. I don't know what other locations in Arabian Ranches. And is your villa in one of these locations? Because I don't want to see. Don't tell them exactly what you've seen, the exact villa, but tell them, look, I don't want to see something that you already have and other agents also have. Or if you start calling them for several agents, several properties, tell them, I've already spoken to another agent. They've already told me they've got villa number 2 and 3 and 4. And I don't want you to waste time on the same villa with me. So could you give me a hint which villa it is? I can send you an agent-to-agent form as well. Right, guys? Send them an agent-to-agent form. Chris Fifth asks, is it better to start... This is on YouTube, guys. Just if you can't see this on Instagram. So this is on YouTube. Chris Fifth asks, is it better to start your career with a well-known kind of brokerage, or it doesn't matter? So, you know, with a well-known kind of... So here's the thing. I'll give you the straight answer first. It's better to start your career where you can have a mentor who's going to guide you. Okay. Now, a big known brokerage, they're going to have systems and processes and rules and regulations in place that are there to help you. Some of these rules and regulations you're not going to like. I'll give you an example. They might say, hey, if you've got a seller that you think that you can actually sell its property, but somebody else has already registered them in their master database, you got to work with that other agent. Because they've gone through this process so many times where two agents are trying to fight with that same seller within the same company. They just say, look, whoever registered the seller first, he or she gets the priority, right? So you're going to have that situation where the other person gets the priority. Is it good? Is it fair? I don't know. I can't say, right? But then they've got other rules and regulations over there. Like, if you've got a seller, what kind of presentation to make, what kind of marketing to offer. So that bigger companies can do for you. But then also what's happening sometimes in the bigger companies is that agents get kind of like lost. You kind of get lost in a big sea of people. And when you're in the big sea of people, when you get lost in a big sea of people, you're in a situation that nobody cares. It's sink or swim. Like, if the company has 400 agents, like, sorry, they don't have time to give you any kind of special attention. But it's not unknown, or it wouldn't be that difficult for you to go to a large company and then find a super broker there who's super nice and then make a mentor out of him. How do you make a mentor out of him? You do stuff that a mentee does, like drive his car for him, bring him coffee, be nice to him, be kind to him, boost his ego, tell him he's the best, tell him I really want to learn from you, do things for free, like, and add value to his life. Like, honestly, like, if he can send you on a viewing, go for it. Like, in the earlier part of my career, I had a mentor who I still respect, love till this day. I still call him, like, for complicated things, for advice. And the way that I found that it worked in the beginning is he would actually send me on a viewing that he can't handle, and I went. And in the beginning, I kind of like, at that time, I didn't like to go on that viewing. I didn't enjoy it because nothing came of it. When I think back now, if he had told me, Fahd, go to this viewing, expect nothing in return. Like, you're not going to be a part of the deal. Like, he was so nice. He would have given me something if that deal had closed. Expect nothing in return, 0 dirhams, but go to this viewing. I think at that time I would have felt bad. But now when I look back more than 10 years later, I would have loved to go. It would have taught me, and I should have done it. And I did. The only thing is I was expecting, and then he used to send us deals that he was not working on, and we would work and we would close. So it was pretty good. Said Mohammed, how does the UAE control demand and supply in real estate? Good question. UAE is still such a nascent, UAE is such a nascent, I don't know if nascent is the correct word, so I take that word back. It's still a very young country. Like, you've got to remember, the UAE was founded in 1971, which actually makes us about 50 years old. So we're not super young, like 71, 81, 91, 2001, 2011, 2021. Hey, man, we're about 53 years old. Pretty good. We're like the mid-level, right? So UAE is growing at a very fast pace. You've got to understand, like, Dubai and all of these other places have a lot of demand, nascent demand. And you've got to just look at some of the online websites. You got to know Dubai on its own, His Highness and Dubai municipality has plans for 9 million people in the city. And we are, I think, only about 4.5 or 5 million. Like, if I quickly check Dubai population, can I do this? Population. We're 3.3 million. Okay. Expected. We are 3.3 million. Okay. Population of Dubai by Dubai municipality. They are planning the city for 9 million people. Like, it's. So by 2040, Dubai will reach a population of 5.8 million, almost doubling the number of people. Like, by 2040, okay? And in some cases, it says by 2030, we expect it to reach 5.5 million. Can you imagine? Like, if we have every year 30,000 units that are getting delivered every year, only 30,000 units, and 30,000 units over the next 6 years, we're at 180,000 units. And if we expect it to go to 5.5 million people in Dubai, that's 5.5 minus 3.2 right now. Can you imagine? That's like, we need 2.3 million houses. 2.3. Now, okay, granted that not everybody's living in their own house. People are living in different places. There's families, joint families, otherwise sharing and all of that. But even that, like, the numbers are staggeringly, the difference is too high. All right, guys. Listen, let's bring this to a close. There's a few other questions. Somebody says, want more such videos on real properties. Okay, we'll do that. Hi, please, what happened to the owner of a apartment after end of edge of property? I have no idea what this question means. I think this question was about leasehold property, freehold versus leasehold. There'll be a new rule coming in. I don't know what that new rule is going to be, but we hope for the best. Guys, listen, thank you very much for everybody who's joined in. I don't see any more questions. There's a question by Joaquin. The company I'm working in, we get buyer data who are interested directly. I searched the unit as per the requirement. It's different from how other companies do, but it's different in a good, bad way. Yeah, okay, good. The company you're working with, I get buyer data who are interested directly. Yeah, okay, good. You're a buyer's agent, and that's your job, so that's good. Search for them for a property. One of the things you should do, Joaquin Acharya, is talk to them really in depth and understand exactly what they're looking for. And once you've understood exactly what they're looking for, you're in a much better position to be able to help them find the unit. Okay, then take them on viewings and so on and so forth. All right, guys, thank you very much for everybody who joined in. Aisha asks, how can I join Dubai real estate? Bless you, sister. You join real estate by applying to a company and trying to get hired by one of the companies. Any company, start there as a realtor. All right. Okay. I wish you all the best. Watch some of my videos on starting out as a real estate agent. They will be very helpful for you. I say goodbye for you now until next week. I think we'll be back from Eid, so we'll have another live, right? All right, guys. Ciao for now. See you later. Take care. Bye-bye.